Hey everyone, Diavolo here, and today we are delving into the absolutely stunning world of Dandadan. After watching the first episode and then in the same nights reading almost all of the manga, I found myself at awe with the amazing world that the mangaka Yukinobu Tatsu had created. Each new threat that our main cast must go up against expands his universe in a creative way, leaving a lot up to the interpretation of the reader. Its fights are raw, and the core story of finding our boys nuts is just hilarious. Since I'm already late in regards to the anime releasing and making these videos, I'm going to start things off with the second arc in the story, the Acrobatic Silky Arc. On a quick recap though of the first arc, better known as the Turbo Granny arc, covered our character introductions, introducing us to the main duo in Ken Takakura, better known as Okarun, and Momo Ayase. After the pair have an argument over if aliens or spirits are real, they end up bumping into a few gooners, and from there, it's the fan. In the end, Okarun comes out cursed and nutless. Wanting to try and remove it, obviously from his body, the curse that being, along with retrieving his balls, they confronted Turbo Granny. This turned into them battling against both the Turbo Granny, a spirit acting as a caretaker for the bound spirit, the other opponent, who punishes those who invade their resting place. After a pretty tedious battle of tag against Turbo Granny, our MCs come out on top by using some traps that the good old granny, Seiko Ayase, had set up earlier on. On another note, Turbo Granny is a goat. I can't explain it all since it, crosses some of the TOS and whatnot, but some people even assume that the reason she took over Okarun to start with was initially to save Momo from being worked in quotation marks by the Serpo. Either way, for anyone interested, I have already edited the video covering the Turbo Granny part. It's around 10ish minutes long. I'm doing shorter videos with a story here, similar to this arc, and it will be included in the full story that I plan to release in a few weeks from now, probably honestly in like a week and a bit. All the parts of the story that have already been edited are also live on Patreon, so if you do want to peep them early, I'll leave a link down below. Either way, enough of me rambling on as per usual, leave a like and subscribe so I know you're all keen as hell on the next part, and sit back and relax as we delve into Dandadan's Acrobatic Silky Arc. Once finishing the pleasant conversation on their way to class, Momo and Okarun are eager to talk again, so they immediately start searching for each other during lunch. However, despite wandering around the school, neither has any luck. Sitting on a bench outside, Okarun assumes Momo is intentionally avoiding him and starts feeling down, unaware that Momo, actually sitting on a bench opposite him, is feeling the exact same way. Just as Okarun is about to leave, they accidentally bump into each other. After clearing the air between them and realizing they both had been looking for each other, they feel relieved. However, Momo's friends witness the accidental bump into each other and misinterpret it as them kissing, embarrassing both Momo and Okarun. They deny the misunderstanding and start arguing with each other, throwing insults, which actually ends up with them not wanting to speak to each other again. Later on, and while in the bathroom, Okarun reflects on the argument and decides he should probably apologize to Momo. Shockingly, he looks down and realizes that his kintama is missing. Elsewhere and in class, Momo faces teasing from her friends and classmates about the earlier incident with Okarun. Things get worse when Okarun actually bursts in, trying to explain his dilemma. Irritated, Momo tells him to leave her alone, which Okarun interprets as her being embarrassed to be friends with him. Feeling rejected, Okarun walks away, and Miko points out to Momo that her behaviour seems odd for someone who considers Okarun a friend. After school, Momo feels guilty about her actions and spots Okarun talking to a girl he accidentally bumped into as well. Overhearing the girl bragging to her friends about how she toyed with Okarun's feelings, Momo becomes furious. Using her powers, she drops a basin on the girls' heads, shocking her friends, and then cheerfully joins Okarun, asking him if he'd like to walk her home. As they pass the girl, Momo glares at her, making a snarky comment in the defense of Okarun. When they reach Momo's house, she apologizes for her earlier behavior and listens as Okarun explains his missing kintama. Obviously, she quickly bursts out laughing at the absurdity of the situation. Saiko, however, scolds Okarun for not letting her examine him earlier and proceeds to inspect him using a mirror now. After the examination ends, Saiko discovers that something is inside Okarun and begins preparing an extraction ritual using a harrison, a bowl of water, a mani kaneko, and a talisman. I have no idea if I said mani kaneko right there or whatever, but yeah, correct me down below. She strikes Okarun with the harrison and asks Momo if she noticed anything unusual. Momo tells her that Okarun's aura has changed. Saiko then instructs Momo to use her powers to pull the aura out when it changes again. When Momo succeeds, the Maneki Nico doll suddenly comes to life and tries to escape. Momo restrains the doll with her powers and learns from Psycho that the Turbo Granny had secretly slipped into Okarun's body before being exorcised as a part of a plan for revenge. The Turbo Granny taunts Okarun, offering to reveal the location of his Kentama if he kills Momo and Psycho. This enrages Okarun, causing him to unintentionally unleash the Turbo Granny's power. Since only the Turbo Granny's consciousness had been extracted though, she's utterly powerless against them. Despite their past as enemies, Momo ends up striking a deal with the Granny. They'll actually return her powers if she helps them find Okarun's Kentama. The Turbo Granny agrees with this, but admits she lost them during her defeat. Which is crazy to think that she just placed them somewhere. I don't know what she would have been doing with them, but yeah. Momo and Okarun are then set out to search for his Kentama, but fail to find them. The Turbo Granny speculates that a spirit or yokai might have taken them, attracted by the golden spiritual energy they emit, which is like, what is going on with his nuts, bro? Either way. The following day at school, Okarun is approached by a male classmate who expresses his intent in meeting Momo and mentions a rumor circulating about her behaving inappropriately. Hearing this, Okarun accidentally lets the Turbo Granny's powers take control for a moment, but quickly regains control and apologizes to the man after. After sitting at his desk, he's shocked to see the Turbo Granny doll emerging from his backpack, thrilled that he's struggling to manage her powers. Panicking, Okarun rushes out of the classroom to avoid drawing attention to the spirit. He tries to inform Momo, but he becomes too flustered to speak, especially after recalling his classmates' comments that made him realize how cute Momo is. Overwhelmed, he just runs away in a panic, with Momo chasing after him in confusion. Later on, Momo talks to her friend Miko about her frustration with Okarun for avoiding her. Miko informs her that he actually stood up for her when a classmate was speaking badly about her, leaving Momo puzzled as to why he's been acting so distant recently. Meanwhile, Ira Shiratori, the girl Momo dropped a basin on the previous day, walks the school halls, basking in the admiration of all the boys around her. Ira recalls how she spread the rumor about Momo after realizing that Momo was responsible for the accident, having witnessed her powers. She also pulls out one of Okarun's Kentamas, which she found the day before, believing it to be a holy ball and a sign that she's destined to save the world. She and her friends begin gathering items for her plan, set to unfold after school ends. Ira also points out a mysterious woman in red outside, but her friends can't see the figure, leading her to believe that the woman is Momo's familiar. During lunch, the Turbo Granny reveals herself to Momo and Okarun, informing them that she spotted a strange woman at the school who might be connected to Okarun's missing Kentama. She promises to reveal the woman's whereabouts after the school. Before they can continue searching though, Ira approaches Momo, requesting to speak in private with her. To avoid conflict, Momo agrees and instructs Okarun to keep searching without her. As Momo and Ira then walk away, the Turbo Granny tells Okarun that she recognizes Ira. Momo follows Ira to an abandoned warehouse where Ira's friends ambush and restrain her with zip ties. Ira attempts to exorcise Momo using a Bible and cross, but this only irritates her. Using her powers, Momo easily frees herself and learns that Ira has one of Okarun's Kentamas, mistakenly believing that it would somehow protect her. Momo tries to explain what the ball really is, but before she can, Okarun bursts in, searching for her. Momo informs him that Ira has one of his Kentama, and deduces that she might be the strange woman the Turbo Granny mentioned earlier. However, Bro reveals that he isn't the target. The strange woman is actually after Ira. At that moment, the random woman appears, grabs Ira, and declares that she is her mother. Okarun transforms into his Turbo Granny form to save Ira, but the strange woman evades his attacks with acrobatic movements. She then swallows Okarun, kicks Momo aside, and pleads with Ira to call her mother, like she did 10 years ago. After recovering, Momo learns from the Turbo Granny that the strange woman is a yokai known as Acrobatic Silky. Silky swallows Ira when the girl rudely rejects her, previous offer to call her mother. Blaming Momo for Ira's defiance, Acrobatic Silky then attacks her using her hair as a weapon. Silky offers to forgive Momo if she also calls her mother, but Momo refuses and is swallowed as well. Inside Silky, Momo quickly plans her escape, realizing that Silky had swallowed her own hair. With the help from Turbo Granny, Momo sets Silky's hair on fire using Ira's cross lighter. Silky panics as the flames spread inside her, eventually vomiting out the 3 children she swallowed. Standing there now, Momo and Okarun prepare for a counterattack. While still in his Turbo Granny form, Okarun carries the unconscious Ira and follows Momo's instructions, leading Acrobatic Silky on a chase around the warehouse. When Silky catches up to him and kicks him aside, she moves to capture Ira, but finds her permed hair damaged from the fire stuck to various objects in the warehouse. Momo reveals that she set this trap. As Silky struggles to then free herself, Momo uses her powers to restrain the yokai's feet, and Okarun launches himself at her, preparing to take her down. With Acrobatic Silky then defeated, Momo and Okarun retrieve one of his missing Kintama from the unconscious Aira. However, their relief quickly turns to shock when the Turbo Granny reveals that Aira has actually died as a result of being swallowed by the yokai. Desperate to save her, Momo and Okarun frantically try to revive Aira. Acrobatic Silky, now remorseful and weakened from their battle, stands back up and offers a solution. She will transform her aura to Aira to restore her life, as every living being requires an aura to survive. To show that she means no harm, Acrobatic Silky rips off her own mouth, preventing herself from trying to consume Aira again. Despite their doubts, Momo chooses to trust Acrobatic Silky's offer, with Okarun standing by in his Turbo Granny form, ready to intervene if the yokai tries anything. Following Acrobatic Silky's instructions, Momo uses her powers to facilitate the aura transfer. As she does so, Momo catches a glimpse into Acrobatic Silky's tragic past, revealing how she actually met Aira and shedding a light on the deep emotional suffering and loneliness the yokai had endured. Following this, we see that the transfer is successful, and to their immense relief, Aira wakes up. However, without her aura, Acrobatic Silky begins to crumble and fade away. The Turbo Granny explains that without an aura, Acrobatic Silky's existence will be erased. As Silky starts to disintegrate, she apologizes to Aira for her actions and expresses deep regrets for not being there for her real daughter. Moved by Silky's genuine sorrow, Aira embraces the yokai, calling her mother and telling her that she loves her. Touched by the moment, Acrobatic Silky smiles as she passes on into the afterlife, her form dissolving completely. Momo watches with a sense of closure, hoping that Acrobatic Silky and her daughter have found peace together in a better place. Well, that there brings us to the very end of the second arc of Dandadan. If you have enjoyed this video and want more like it, then subscribe and leave a like, as it really helps out with pushing my content to a bunch of new amazing people. Plus, I'd love to know what you all think of me doing shorter videos like this as I try and catch up and cover all of Dandadan. Also, on top of that, if you want to see the next parts even earlier, then make sure to check out the Patreon, which is linked down below, or become a YouTube channel member. Either way, for now it's been your professional degenerate Diavolo, and I will see you all in a bit. Bye.